Earlier, I caught up with Congressman Tim Murphy, who leads the subcommittee that called for this hearing. I asked him whether he was satisfied with what he heard.
I'm not sure we have solid conclusions of where to go with this. Law enforcement made it very clear they need a mechanism to track bad guys, whether they are terrorists who have acted on or planning future attacks, or as criminals such as child predators or kidnappers or murderers who may have used their computers or their cell phones to send messages back and forth, to collect child pornography, etc. They made it very clear they need help. And the tech community didn't really offer a solution except to say, look at the wonderful things we can do. And I get that. It's wonderful to be able to use a cell phone or a pad for such things as doing financial systems working on your credit card. We want that encrypted. We need that encrypted. But when it comes time to dealing with some of the dangers and hazards of life in our world today, they really didn't have many things to offer there, and that still is an area we've got to work on.
So do you think the tech community and Apple specifically need to make more compromises?
I think they need to offer some solutions. You know, at one point their witnesses went on when I asked about, look, what if you have a situation as a child predator? What do we do about that? And he proceeded to answer by telling me all the wonderful things they do and with the new world of technology, and that's good, but it still doesn't answer my question. And after all this, I said, look, you give a very compelling argument, it's fascinating, but I have no idea what you're talking about in terms of solving this problem. And so what still has to happen, and we told Apple that we'd be glad to get them in a room with the FBI if we have to, they got to work something out.
So when it comes to a middle ground, Apple said in San Bernardino there is no middle ground, but the government obviously wants to find one. Everyone is saying form a commission, but is a commission really going to be able to find a solution that's this complicated?
Well, as I told them that the committee we have, Oversight and Investigation under the Committee on Energy and Commerce, we're the investigating committee on this. We want them to come up with something more than just saying, someone else do this job for us. Congress come up with an idea. Apple needs to take some responsibility, as do the other tech companies. As new technology is emerging every day with apps, and we find that Facebook didn't even show up, WhatsApp wouldn't even show up for this hearing. They need to be stepping up and saying, we recognize that this is an ethical issue too. Yes, we understand for the sake of their customers and technology they want to protect and maintain encryption. But there's times too when the safety of society and the safety of other people and family members needs to also be a step that they have to pay attention to. They can't walk away from it and say, that's not our problem, that's not something we're going to pay attention to. It is part of us. It is the same as if someone has a building and there's a faulty lock on it. You got to find someone who can find a better lock to make things safer for people, safer in communities. And they can't just walk away and say it's someone else's problem. We want them to be at the table offering solutions and understanding this is a question we all have to deal with.
The tech companies are saying that any backdoor is a backdoor for the bad guys too, governments like China. So what does a middle ground actually look like to you? What does a solution actually look like to you?
Well, you know, what's amazing to me is here's these people that get paid fabulous salaries throughout the United States to do this work for a living every day. And it's incredible to me that the amazing technology they've been able to work the last few years, increasing every month in terms of the quality of that. And when it comes to figuring out a solution to this, they say, sorry, not on my resume, I can't work on that. I don't believe it. These are brilliant minds. Come together and figure out a way that we can have this. And perhaps multiple people have to hold the key. And all those keys together are necessary to unlock something. There could be some solutions to this, but I just don't take the answer to saying that they plead ignorance of how to do that. These are smart people. They can come up with some solutions. Let's get them to work on it.
What's your view on the bill presented by, Senators Burr and Feinstein that would force companies to help in these situations when hit by a court order?
Well, here's what's going to happen. In a situation like this where we're asking them to use their genius and use their talent and use their creativity to help us find a solution, they don't have to worry about crime and ethics and issues of saving lives and stopping terrorism. That's not what they get paid to do. I understand that's not their company. But if they don't come up with a solution will be imposed upon them. That's why it behooves so many of these tech companies to say, you know what, we do have a role in society. We do have an ethical obligation. We cannot ignore the fact that we're on this planet together and we're doing things together. That's what we want them to understand of that greater good that they need to focus on. And if they're not going to help, then I think that bills like Feinstein's will grab some legs and continue to move forward. That's why I think it's much better for them to think about this and let's find a good solution that fits everybody.
Congressman Tim Murphy on the Apple encryption hearing earlier today.